Tech Coach Ralph, tough as nails, no disguise. Pushing limits, yeah, he's that kind of guy. At first it's harsh, the rules feel like chains, but trust the process, there's sunshine in the rains. He cracks the whip, but it's all in love. Results shining bright like stars above. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. Days turn to weeks, skills sharp and fast. What once was a struggle now feels like a blast. Step by step, we rise and we glow. With Ralph in our corner, we're ready to show. Singing his praises, can't keep it inside. From hard ass to hero, he's our pride. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing today? Today is Monday, December 9th, 2024. Yes, we're in the second week of December already. That means after this week, we have about 2 more weeks to go before it is Christmas. Well, a week before Christmas, and then 2 weeks before it's 2025, a new year. And for some people, a new day, a new beginning, but we are just going to continue what we're doing. We're going to do it even better. I am Tech Coach Ralph. We are Engineered to Win. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. How was everyone's weekend? We got my guy in the building already. My guy, Yakar, aka Mr. Tech Neek in the building. Please say the dash. Please say the dash. Salute to you as well. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And we have my best friend, Mitch, for the people. What's up, Mitch? How are you doing? And let's start off right? We have your car saying good morning, and we have Mitch saying trash. And it would not be the proper introduction to the show without those two. All right, let's get started with the show. Real quick announcements. We have our Candid Conversations at noon today. We're going to be talking about consistency, your biggest enemy. Yes. Consistency is your biggest enemy. We're going to be talking about that. And I also give you some tips and tricks on how to get more consistent with the things that you say you want to do. So tune in with me at noon Eastern time today as we go over that. And we're going to be going live tomorrow night for our tech Q&A. So if anybody wants to call in, if you have any questions, feel free to join us in the chat, or you can call in, and you don't have to be on camera, but you can call in. We can have a conversation about whatever is on your mind, all right? But with that being said, let's jump into the show. already. We're going to start off. We have our numbers this week. We have our numbers this week. Did we have a great show or what this past Saturday? I had a lot of fun. Really good times. Loved it. So that's one of my favorite shows, Saturday morning. So definitely want to tune in Saturday morning to the Men Lie, Women Lie, Numbers Manipulate show, where we review the weekly economic numbers, co-hosted by my guy Mitch and Yakar from the chat. All right. And if they ever want to co-host in person by calling in, and I can set it up where we are going over this stuff together. The invitation is forever. All right. That being said, let's start the show with our news for today. Where are we? All right, let's go. We are starting off with our numbers to review. All right. So, to start off, the numbers to watch this week, which we're going to be reviewing specifically on Saturday morning. Inflation returns to center stage this week when the Labor Department releases a key price gauge, the last major piece of economic data to arrive before the Federal Reserve sets interest rates on December 18th. The Consumer Price Index, you guys know our CPI, which we review every month, is forecast to have risen 2.7% last month from a year earlier, up slightly from 2.6% in October. Excluding volatile items such as food, the index is seen up an annual 3.3% in November, unchanged from the prior month. While price growth is holding steady, a jobs report last week showing an uptick in unemployment has supported expectations for a rate cut. It seems like they're going to be trying to cut it by 25 basis points again, so we shall see. So what we have coming up for this week, we have on Wednesday, December 11th, in 2 days, the Bureau of Labor Statistics will release the monthly Consumer Price Index for November, which measures inflation through the price of goods and services. So we'll be using our Urban Dictionary of Economic Data to go through that on Saturday, where we break down what the Consumer Price Index is, why it's important, and then we're going to actually review the numbers and the details to see what that means. Thursday, we have Thursday, December 12th, the Bureau of Labor Statistics will release the Producer Price Index for November. The gauge measures the change over time in prices charged by domestic producers for the output. And then we also have our weekly U.S. Department of Labor releasing the initial jobless claims for the previous week. The report, a proxy for layoffs, tracks the number of people filing for unemployment benefits. So we only have 3 data points for this coming week, so we should be able to finish the other 3 that we left on Saturday, and then we'll do these 3, and then we'll have a lot of fun on Saturday. All right, so that's what we have to look forward to for this coming Saturday on the Men Lie.
Okay,
Women.
let's move on.
How dare you? No, I'm not going to move on yet. I'm going to say on the Men Lie, the Women Lie, the Numbers Manipulate show, co-hosted by my friends Mitch and Yakar from the chat. So shout out to that. All right, let's now, because you're not going to tell me what to do. Now we're going to move on, okay? We're moving on. All right. So the next one, TikTok ruling boon for Meta and Google. It says with a U.S. TikTok ban looking increasingly likely, distressed creators are taking steps to migrate to other platforms, and Meta and Google stand to benefit, per Bloomberg. Creators have begun urging followers to subscribe to their YouTube channels and follow them on Instagram as the January deadline approaches for TikTok to be spun off by its Chinese parent company, ByteDance. While many depend on TikTok's reach of 170 million U.S. users and growing e-commerce presence, on Friday, a federal appeals court sided with lawmakers concerned about data privacy and national security. TikTok has signaled it will appeal to the Supreme Court. So one thing I'm wondering about this, right? So a judge said, like, yeah, we're going to uphold the ban. TikTok, if they go to the Supreme Court, is there going to be an injunction on the ban that says that they can continue to operate in the United States, or are they going to have to shut down, and that they're going to have to shut down, and they're not going to be able to have people on their platform in the United States? This sounds like, I don't know. It kind of sounds similar to the ban that X had in Brazil, and then X caved in and put a representative in Brazil and shut down whatever accounts Brazil wanted to shut down. Because I think at the end of the day, it is all about the money. All right. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm just curious to know, like, because it's ultimately going to be a decision once they file the the appeal to the Supreme Court. But my biggest concern though, it is like, all right, the users who make a living off TikTok now, because it is hard. It is hard to migrate your users from one
Okay, let's move
platform.
on.
It is hard to migrate your users from one platform to the other platform. So that's going to be interesting. But the other thing is, how about all of these employees of TikTok in the United States and Canada and stuff like that, where they are going like, if it's shut down in the United States, do they end up losing their jobs? And those are high paying tech jobs as well. And that's not going to be easy to just go, well, I'm just going to go to Google or Meta or Apple and stuff like that. So that's going to be an interesting twist of events. So I'm just curious. So we're gonna definitely keep an eye on this. I am without evidence. I cannot support these type of actions. So if they were to, like I've asked before, like give me evidence of what they're doing. Not that they have the potential to do it, but show me how they're going to do it and what they're actually doing, and then I might be more on board with that. So that's my thought. All right. Anyways, let's continue on with the next article for this morning. All right. So this one says employees are itching like a mosquito bite to switch. So more workers want to change jobs now than did during the Great Resignation of 2021 and 2022. Over half of 20,000 working Americans surveyed recently by Gallup said they're actively seeking a new position, the most since 2015. But hiring has slowed since the pandemic, and the feeling of being stuck with fewer promotions and more return to office mandates is fueling dissatisfaction. Raises, too, are projected to shrink further to a median of 3.9% from 4.1% this year, according to employer advisory firm WTW. Some firms are drumming up new projects and assignments just to head off worker malaise. So people now want to switch. It's interesting because back in the days, people would be working at the same company for 30 to 50 years and stuff like that. Now people are more active in their switching of companies, which I think that you should always be on the offensive, always be ready, always have your eyes open, because while companies will ask you to put in a 2-week resignation, when they lay you off, it is in that instance you do not have access to your computer anymore, to the building. But once you're leaving, they're telling you, all right, well, can you offset your work and train this person and that person and all that type of stuff. So I have mixed feelings about the whole layoff versus resignation type stuff. But so I always say, like, be prepared. Don't have your focus only on one thing. That's why I advocate. I'm a big advocate of always learning, and that's what we do on this channel. Is we're always exploring new softwares. We look at DevOps.
Okay, let's move on.
We look at DevOps. We look at QA. We look at web development. We look at mobile development. We're going to be like, I'm really leaning into looking into more cybersecurity type stuff with the video that's coming out on Wednesday about penetration testing. We're going to be talking more about that and looking more into that into 2025. So it is definitely always be ready. Always be ready. And let me see. Let's go on to our next article, and then after these next two articles, then we'll go through the chat, and then we'll get to work on our mobile development. All right. So next up, we have retailers are bracing for holiday returns. So retailers expect record holiday sales this year, but returns are also rising. Returns in 2024 are projected to account for 17% of all sales, totaling $890 billion, up 15% from 2023, according to the National Retail Federation and Happy Returns. Where did they come up with these names? National Retail Federation and Happy Returns. Are there unhappy returns? All right. Anyways, the increase is driven by online shopping, with many consumers buying multiple sizes or colors to try on at home and returning what doesn't fit. That makes sense. Has anybody ever tried the forgot the name of that the program that Amazon has where they let you try the item for like 7 days and you can send it back if you don't like it if it doesn't fit. I forgot the name of it, but they have like where but it's specifically for like clothes where you can they'll send you the clothes and then you have 7 days to return it without being charged if you don't like it. If you keep it, then they're going to charge you for it. That's interesting. But this behavior, along with wardrobing or wearing and then returning, is straining retailers' logistics and sustainability efforts. In response, many are tightening return policies or exploring buyback and resale programs. Speaking of speaking of like wardrobing or wearing and then returning, um, I think it's a lot easier to do that when you're online shopping because I remember at least back in the days. Nowadays, they'll take anything back when you go return it to a store online. I mean, to a store in person. But back in the days, they would like the customer service people. They would actually like analyze it and make sure it has like all the like make sure if it was worn too much, like okay, we're not giving you. You can't return that. Yada yada yada. But I mean, just people can wear stuff and return it on online shopping and stuff like that. And the return policies have gotten a lot more lenient. So
Okay, let's move on.
it is interesting to see how all of that is going down. All right. Last story for today. And this is the story that we have all been waiting for. So, this story, end of eras, Taylor Swift, that is, closes $2.2 billion tour. Get that money. All right. So the places visited by Taylor Swift on her record breaking Eras tour will remember it all too well. The billions spent on food, drinks, hotel, and friendship bracelets. I sent a friendship bracelet to Mitch last month and he never said anything about it. So, I'm not gonna say that I'm a little hurt, but I am a little hurt that he never, said anything about it. All right. So I'm just gonna say that it got lost in the mail. All right. Although it did say that it was delivered and it was signed for and all that, but I'll just say somebody else signed for it. I'm just gonna say, all right. So all the components of what came to be dubbed as Swiftonomics. Okay, okay. Everyone has. You know what? I'm just gonna throw in a Ralphonomics as well, and a Mitchonomics and the Acaronomics. All just whatever your economic policies. I'm gonna throw your name on there, right? So. As with 152 dates and 51 cities, concluding Sunday night in Vancouver, the global tour has grossed an estimated of $2.2 billion, the highest grossing ever, and been a major driver of hospitality spending and post-pandemic recovery in the tourism industry. The U.S. Travel Association estimates that fans, some 10 million attended, spent an average of $1,300 each, and indirect spending may have exceeded $10 billion. Whoa. Well, shout out to Taylor Swift getting to the bag. Shout out to Taylor Swift. And
Okay, let's move on.
I will say that they made a little bit more than the Democrats spent on the election. So maybe they can help a sister out. Maybe they can. I mean, they did give the endorsement, so they can help a sister out get out of debt. All right. With that being said, that is our news for today. Let's go back to full screen. All right. Let me check the chat real quick, and then we will get to doing a little bit of coding for this morning to wake up our minds. That is one of the main purposes of this show, is to review the news stories, to get informed, and to wake up our minds for the day so that we can, get your mind stimulated, right? Let's see. Let me see. We have my guy Manny de Los Santos in the buildings. Great show and wish you success. Thank you so much, Manny. And guess what?
I appreciate you.
I really do appreciate you, Manny. Thank you for stopping by. You are a blessing in disguise. And my guy Mitch says, well, it's because the layoffs were never this bad before in the old days. No loyalty. That is true. I agree with that. There was the layoffs were not that bad. People could work for the same company for a long time. And the thing is too, Mitch, I agree wholeheartedly with what you're saying. And the price of things were not that expensive back then, so people could afford to stay at the same company and not have to worry about, like people might get two jobs, but it's like, all right, I'll do something lighter in the afternoon, and I'll work my regular job at the factory or something. Maybe work at a bar as a bartender in the evening. Who knows, right? But now it's like with the dynamics of the world and of the industries, people are always like shuffling and trying to make more and more and more. Which I have no problem with people making more and more and more. But it's just different dynamic. So I totally agree with you with that, Mitch. And Mitch has said, "What weird, Mitch? Somebody signed for the friendship bracelet that I sent you, and you've never said anything about it, about the friendship bracelet. Like, do you even wear it? Do you even wear it? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying." And your car says "Be nice." Exactly your car. It's Monday morning. It's Monday morning. We can't we all just get along? Can't we all just get along? All right. All right, all right, all right. Enough fun and games. Enough fun and games. Let's spend the last 20 minutes writing some code. I'm gonna put 20 minutes so we can stop in 20 minutes and we have 3 minutes to wrap up the show. Let's get to it.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right, so let's transition over to here. And Mitch also says, beep a bracelet. With best friends as Mitch, who needs arch enemies? Who needs arch enemies at the end of the day? All right. Okay. We're going to get the show rolling. All right. We are all right. So why did this? I was trying to start the device, but it didn't really start up for me. Am I using the right device? No, I am using the right device. All right. Let's try to. Oh, okay. All right. It had to be turned on. All right. Cool. So we have been working on getting our test to work. And last time all right, let me run it real quick. This test that we have right here. Okay, everything is running. Okay. These are all the tests that are not working. What we did last time was to edit the configuration where we are going to pass in tags. And how did we do this? Should it be like this? And we did WIP. I think that's how we did it, right? Let's see. All right, cool. So we got the ability to use decrement button on minutes spent field. Let me see where that one is. And if we minimize this, so this one is working as expected. Let's go to, this one should be the increment field, I believe. So if we have those two working now, it's like smooth sailing ahead where we can get if we get these two working, now we should be able to, all right, so ability to use decrement button. So increment is working. Decrement is not working. I thought the decrement just passed though. Wait a second. So if I take out this one, so ability to increment is working. So if I run this again, and now all right. I see we're not going to be doing this today. Okay. So if I have, okay, I see what we're doing here today. Okay. So we are going to see why the increment is working and the decrement is failing, but these tests should be separate. So it shouldn't be dependent on one another for one to pass and one to fail. So we are going to leave both, and that happens sometimes. Right? When we were first working on this, we would see that one of them would fail and the other would pass, and it shouldn't be that way. Let's take a look at, all right, so time spent on activity. See, it's missing some stuff. So this is working, but then when you get over here, let me see something. user yearly income. And then for the decrement, it's like skipping steps on this one. Why is that? Let me see something. Okay, so if we were, all right, let's try this, right? Because if it's trying to use the same thing, it could be reusing it. So if we were to take this and put it in here, is that not needed for here? And then we go and we do the same thing in here. That way we separate the two. And we do, so let's run that again and see what happens. That doesn't make any sense. Because like they're overlapping with each other. Expected 190. Why would they be overlapping? Why would they be? Let's do a quick. Let's do a search real quick, right? We are going to search why. So let's say let's go Google Flutter test passes alone individually, but fails. Go together. Why do some Flutter widget tests fail if executed together but pass? Okay, so that's exactly what the issue that we're having, right? So when having multiple tests in the same file and running one test after the other, some kind of tests are failing, but the same test pass when run individually. This is my test file at the moment. It's all right. We're not going to look at your test file, but we know the issue that you're having. I found the solution and fixed it thanks to this and this Stack Overflow question. The main issue is when the use of localization. The main issue was the use of localizations that loaded from JSON files. The solution was to wrap each test with tester.run async. All right, let's take a look at that. Maybe that's the problem that we're having. Let me see. Await tester run async. So if we go back and so let's get rid of that because that didn't do anything for us. Your car's friend is up early in the morning. All right, so we're gonna do await tester dot run async. And now we're going to drop this test. We're going to drop this test in here. So we take that and we close that. All right, so we have that one. Now let's do the same thing for the other one. We're going to do await. We'll just try it on these two to see what happens. Tester.run async. And if that works, then we'll have to do that for all of our other tests. We can get rid of this as well. And he knew that your car was watching and listening, so he wanted to start the car over again. Thank you. See, look at that. Whoa. Let's take. Why is that like that? However, we have this problem in here. Oh, I did something wrong. Wait a second, what? Oh wait. Oh, okay, I did something wrong. All right, I can fix it though. Hold on. This should be, so this should be like this. And then async like that. And then I have to come down over here to close this, I believe. Nope. All right, let me do it over. Let me do it over. So we have this, and we're going to say async. And we're going to close that. All right, that one should be all right. We're going to have to do the same thing for this one. Let me get the content of that one. Let's take that. And we're going to say boom, async. Like that. All right, so is this going to work? I don't know. I don't know, but that was the accepted solution. So we're going to give that another run. And it doesn't work. Let's see. It doesn't even have the, but if we were to take this off again, let's see if that at least makes a difference. Oh, that still fails though. Validate ability to use decrement button on the minutes spent field. So what if we, that is weird. Let's see if I was to take this and I was to put it in here. That's so weird. Because that was passing when we didn't have it. All right, let's take a look at this again. The main issue was the localizations that loaded from JSON. The solution was to wrap. I suppose the trouble occurs when different tests are not creating different instances of the widget or are conflicting in some way, but there's a turnaround that might help you. If you want to create a single button running all your tests, you can create a bash or cmd command. I don't think so. I don't think so. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. All right, let's see what this one is. Nope. Let's see. Why do my tests fail when run together but pass individually? This is not for Flutter though. Running the same Flutter test, one succeeds, one fails. 5 years ago? No answer. That is so weird. This is for C#. Like for other stuff, I know why that would happen, but why for, let me see something. One more thing I'm going to try. Let's go here. Nope. But if I undo everything to back to how it was before, get up out of there. Increment should be, get rid of decrement as well. So now if I just run the decrement one, that's probably going to pass, right? It's weird because like when it runs, it's not doing all of these things, but so somehow they're overlapping. And I think it's probably because, all right, so I think it's because it's trying to run them simultaneously. If I take off and what if we were to do the async stuff be messing with things? See, now both of them fail because we took off the await. Okay. But I think with the await, it's going to cause, and it shouldn't work that way because you should just be able to run all the tests because it's doing stuff here that it's not doing on the other one. So somehow, all right, so what I'm going to search real quick, right? Flutter widget test, create new instance of widget. How to create two same instance widget in Flutter. Not two same instance. Let me see. So we have this test code goes here, await tester, pump widget, create a my widget instance that displays M and T, but okay. If we go to here, what if we take this and then we go here and we say like that, right? Would that create a new instance of that? Let's see. Still not. That doesn't make any sense to me. What about if we also do that over here? Because it's like it needs to create its own instance of the app, not reuse. See, that doesn't make any sense. Let me see if I do it through command prompt. test T equals what P. Same thing, running it through the command prompt. Which I think what we ended up doing last time was, all right, deciding to wait till having them run as a group, running them individually to make sure that they pass, which is annoying because it doesn't make any sense why. I mean, it does make sense, but trying to figure out how to fix it is annoying. But I guess for the time being, what we'll do is do them individually, and then we will at some point figure out how to do it as a group.
Lunch break. Lunch break.
But yeah, that's annoying because it shouldn't be happening that way. We should be able to create a new instance of the app. And they shouldn't be interfering with one another. So more research on that front, and then but we'll just continue pushing along, getting all the other tests to pass. So we know that this one is going to pass when ran individually, so meaning that it works, but it's not good practice if we're going to be pushing this into like a CI/CD pipeline where it continues, like, because we should be seeing all the tests pass. So we'll figure that out at some point. The next test that I want to get to work is the next is like maybe Wednesday, because we have our increment working, we have our decrement working. Something that we need to fix is when you go here and you say confirm to clear all the fields, and then you put in your, it looks like this field is not clearing. So we'll probably Wednesday we'll fix this, and then we'll get that one other test to work, where it is there's one more test that we need to get to work before we can deploy this, which is the validate the ability to input hours and minutes into the increment input field. So we got to get this one to work, and then we should be able to deploy. So fix this issue, and then get that field to work, and then we should be able to. Somebody had actually gave me some feedback. They said that after they enter these things, let's say we were to go to, I don't know where the keyboard is. Oops. Actually, no, I think it was on an iOS issue, actually. So that might be a moot point for now. Oops. Anyways, we'll figure that out. We will figure that out. Let's wrap it up for today. Let's see what we got going on in here. Oh my goodness. We got 23 people watching on X. Shout out to X. Shout out. It must have been the Taylor Swift in the title, because we, people love Taylor Swift, right? People love Taylor Swift. Okay. Let's see what the chat has to say before we wrap it up for today. Your car enjoying the sound of the V8 engine. Vroom. And your car says do a launch start. I don't know. Like with the testing stuff, it's so weird that, like, because this happened to us before. Before, like the first time we deployed, we were trying to get the test to work, and they would pass individually, but when they run as a group, which it would think that it's sharing resources, but even like when I'm trying to put it in individually, it's like it's not creating a new instance of the app. So got to figure that out at some point. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But with that being said, we're gonna wrap it up for today. You guys have a amazing Monday, an amazing week. Remember, at noon today on YouTube, we're going to be doing Candid Conversations. We're going to be talking about consistency. Why is it your biggest enemy? That's the topic for today.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
You heard the man. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. So this is Tech Coach Ralph with another episode of Coffee and Kata in the morning. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. This is Tech Coach Ralph. We are out.
Tech Coach Ralph, tough as nails, no disguise. Pushing limits, yeah, he's that kind of guy. At first it's harsh, the rules feel like chains. But trust the process, there's sunshine in the rains. He cracks the whip, but it's all in love. Results shining bright like stars above. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. Days turn to weeks, skills sharp and fast. What once was a struggle now feels like a blast. Step by step, we rise and we glow. With Ralph in our corner, we're ready to show. Singing his praises, can't keep it inside. From hard ass to hero, he's our pride. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed. So here's to Ralph,